The elevator doors were closing, and I was jabbing the button like my life depended on it. Because it did. Through the shrinking gap, I saw Felix, my ex, his face a mask of rage, shouting for me to hold the door. But inside, a man in an expensive suit, flanked by two mountains in human form, just lifted a single finger. The doors slid shut, sealing me in with them. He looked at me, his eyes sharp and calculating. "You're running from someone," he said. It wasn't a question. I managed a breathless nod. "Is he going to be a problem?" he asked. I thought about Felix, his sudden unexplained wealth, his refusal to let me go. "He might be," I admitted. The man extended a hand. "Danny Castellano. Do you know who I am?" I took it, a cold realization dawning on me. "No, but I'm starting to guess." A ghost of a smile touched his lips. "Smart girl." The elevator stopped. "I think we should talk," he said. "Unless you'd prefer to go back down?" I followed him out without a second thought. In his penthouse office overlooking all of Manhattan, I spilled everything. Felix, my ex of 3 years, had been stalking me for 6 months. But lately, it was different. He had money, expensive lawyers, and he kept mentioning a name, Volkov. Danny's face hardened. "Mikhail Volkov, Russian Bratva. They're moving into my territory. Your Felix is working for them." My blood ran cold. "I'm a forensic accountant," I whispered. "I know," Danny said. He explained that Felix wasn't just an obsessive ex anymore. By trying to leave him, I'd become a target for the Bratva. He slid a business card across his desk. It had only a phone number. "If he becomes a problem you can't handle, call this number." "Why would you help me?" I asked, confused. "Let's just say I have my reasons," he replied. "Be careful, Sarah." 3 days later, my phone buzzed. It was a photo of my mother's grave, desecrated with red spray paint calling me a liar. My hands shook so badly I could barely dial the number. Within 30 minutes, a kind, grandfatherly man named Tommaso picked me up and took me to a safe house. The next morning, Danny arrived with coffee and a proposition. "I need someone with your skills," he said. "Forensic accounting. Find the vulnerabilities in my businesses before my enemies do. In exchange, I offer protection. Felix and anyone connected to him will no longer be your problem." I knew what he was offering. "You want me to work for the mob?" He corrected me. "I want you to work for me. I won't ask you to do anything illegal, but you'll see things, know things. And if I say no," I challenged, "then I'll still protect you. But you'll be a guest. Safe, but purposeless. I don't think that's who you are." Before I could decide, I had to see my mother's grave for myself. Standing there, seeing the ugly red paint, my choice became clear. 1-month trial, I told Danny. If it doesn't work, I walk away. You protect me from Felix regardless. He agreed, but warned me, once you're in, you'll always be a target. I accepted. I was done being a victim. 3 weeks later, I was buried in financial reports, auditing Danny's legitimate businesses. And I found something. Payment structures in his vendor contracts that were identical to the Bratva's financial architecture. All of them had been set up by Angelo Lorio, the nephew of Danny's second-in-command. I brought my findings to Danny. Angelo was either incompetent or he was deliberately creating backdoors for the Volkovs. I knew it was deliberate. That night, as we worked until 3 in the morning building false financial trails to trap Angelo, Danny looked at me. "You've proven yourself invaluable," he said. "You're thinking like someone who belongs in this world." I had to admit, a month ago, the thought would have horrified me. "Today," I said, "I feel like I'm good at something that matters." Felix wanted to make me small. "You're letting me be dangerous." Danny met my eyes. "You were always dangerous. You just didn't know it yet." Just then, my phone buzzed. A photo of Angelo and Felix having coffee. The caption read, "Tell your boss his nephew says hello." We moved on Angelo fast. He confessed within hours. The Volkovs had compromised him 10 months ago for $200,000. Danny sent him to Phoenix with a new identity, but I saw an opportunity. "We can use this," I told Danny. "Feed false intelligence through Angelo's old channels. Make them think the Red Hook warehouse is your main distribution point. When the Bratva hit it, we'd be waiting, gathering our own intelligence on their operations." Danny refused to let me be the one to plant the bait. But I insisted. "I've been running for 6 months. This is my chance to do something active." Reluctantly, he agreed. Wired for sound and with protection all around, I met Felix at a cafe. I casually dropped the mention of the Red Hook warehouse. He took the bait, his eyes lighting up with greed. The trap was set. A week later, I refused to let Felix steal any more of my life. I went to my cousin's wedding, surrounded by 4 of Danny's guards. But in the church bathroom, he found me. Felix, with 2 Volkov soldiers. He knew about the red hook trap. "You're coming with us." Quietly, he hissed. "Or everyone in that chapel starts dying, starting with the bride." I had no choice. They forced me into a black van. As they sped away, my phone fell from my pocket, dropping under a car. At an abandoned warehouse, Mikhail Volkov himself was waiting. He demanded Danny's entire financial network. So I started talking. I gave him numbers, mixing real accounts with false ones, buying time. Suddenly, the warehouse doors exploded. Danny's team flooded in, guns blazing. Tommaso cut my zip ties and screamed for me to stay down, but I saw Felix. He was running for a back exit. Without a second thought, I went after him. I cornered him in a small back room. He started pleading, trying to manipulate me one last time. I just looked at him coldly. Of the 8 accounts I gave Mikhail, I asked, which ones were real? His face went pale. "None of them," he stammered. "None of them," I confirmed. "I'll never give you what you want. Not you. Not Mikhail. Not anyone who thinks they own me." He reached for his gun, but Danny was already in the doorway. One shot, and Felix was gone. I didn't even flinch. When the smoke cleared, Mikhail Volkov was dead too. The FBI arrived, and an Agent Torres took me in for questioning. After hours, I offered her a deal. Information on a Bratva human trafficking operation, 53 women, in exchange for my full immunity and no investigation into Danny Castellano. She took the deal. The raid was a success. All 53 women were safe. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my own office. Sarah Brennan, financial consultant, is on the nameplate. My firm is thriving, and most of Danny's operations are now legitimate, thanks to my work. Danny walks in. Agent Torres has officially closed her investigation into him. Felix's funeral was yesterday. I didn't go. I won't waste another minute of my life on him. Danny pulls out a ring box. "This isn't an engagement ring," he says. "Not yet. It's a promise. A partnership. Building something together, as equals." I slip the ring on. It's a perfect fit. "Yes," I say, "but I'm keeping my own apartment." He laughs. "Wouldn't have it any other way." Later, at my mother's grave, I tell her about my choice. Independence isn't refusing help. It's choosing which help to accept. That night, as I walk through Manhattan, I'm not looking over my shoulder anymore. I'm not the woman who ran into that elevator. I am Sarah Brennan, and I am walking forward, head high, into a future I built for myself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one.